The soldier awoke to the sound of his own heartbeat. It was heavy, slow, thunderous inside his skull, as if the world itself had shrunk down to the pounding of blood in his ears. His eyes flickered open, but for a long moment he saw nothing. Darkness, thick and choking, like a weight pressed against his chest. Then came the sound. A slow, deep breath, not his own. Something massive, hidden in the shadows, inhaled as though the entire room bent toward it. The air grew hot and damp. Smoke curled through the blackness, and in that silence, 2 faint embers glowed. Eyes, watching. The soldier tried to move. His arms pulled against cold, heavy chains. His legs, too, shackled. His body ached, as though every muscle had been beaten. The metal cuffs bit into his wrists. His mind raced, searching for memory. The raid. His unit had descended onto the alien outpost. Explosions, firefights. He remembered shouting. The smell of ozone and burning metal. And then light. A roar so loud it had shaken the sky itself. His men had screamed. Something huge had torn through them. And now he was here captured. A prisoner. The soldier forced himself to breathe, though every instinct screamed that he should. Stay silent. His eyes adjusted slowly, and what he saw made his stomach twist. Bars. Not steel bars, but jagged bones fused into a cage. The walls dripped with heat, veins of molten rock pulsing through the stone. It wasn't a cell built by human hands. It was alive. The dungeon. He had heard whispers of it before the place where captured humans disappeared, never to be seen again. Rumors told of a lair beneath alien worlds, ruled by creatures that even the warlords feared to name. Now he knew. The rumors were true. His head lifted, trembling, and he saw it more clearly. The eyes in the darkness did not belong to any soldier, any machine, or any creature he had seen on the battlefield. They belonged to something ancient, something vast, a dragon. The beast shifted, its scales scraping against stone. Its head was massive, each tooth longer than the soldier's arm, glistening in the faint red glow of the dungeon. Heat radiated from its body like a furnace. Smoke curled from its nostrils as it breathed, and every breath sounded like a storm. The soldier froze. He knew dragons were not myths. Not here, not in this war. Across the galaxy, their kind was feared. Entire fleets had vanished when a dragon entered the battle. Worlds burned. Armies broke. Dragons were not just monsters. They were living weapons. But why would one of them capture a single human soldier? The chains rattled as he struggled. His fear clawed at him, demanding he fight, demanding he run. But he couldn't. He was trapped. The dragon's head lowered, its eyes glowing brighter. Its voice filled the chamber, not a roar, not a growl, but something far worse. A whisper. "Do you know where you are, human?" He could not speak. The dragon leaned closer, the heat blistering against his skin. "This is no prison," it hissed. "This is my lair, and you, not like the others." The soldier forced words through his dry throat. "What do you want from me?" The dragon's mouth curved into something that might have been a smile, though it looked like death itself. Smoke rolled from its teeth. "I want the truth." Suspense burned in the soldier's veins. His thoughts screamed, why him? Capture one human when thousands had already died? Why keep him alive? He remembered his unit again. The raid, the flash of fire, the way the dragon had torn through soldiers with ease. He should be dead. And yet he wasn't. The dragon circled the cell, its claws scraping grooves into the floor. Ow. Its tail lashed behind it, the sound like chains dragging across stone. "You think you are just a soldier? But I know better." The soldier gritted his teeth, trying to mask the fear trembling through his bones. "I don't know what you're talking about." The dragon stopped. Its burning eyes locked onto his. Silence stretched. Then slowly the monster lowered its head until its mouth hovered inches from the soldier's face. The heat was unbearable. His skin blistered. His chains rattled as he tried to pull back. And then the dragon whispered his name, not his rank, not his calsign, not the false name he had used on missions. His real name, the one he had never spoken aloud in this war. The soldier froze, his heart hammering. He hadn't heard that name since childhood. Nobody here could possibly know it, The dragon did, and that was when the true fear began. The dragon leans close, smoke curling from its fangs. You are not a soldier. You are something else. Tell me, what are you hiding? The dungeon was not silent anymore. The human prisoner could hear the dragon's breath with every second. It wasn't only sound, it was heat, vibration, pressure. Every inhale pulled the air from the room. Every exhale filled it with smoke, sparks, and the taste of burning metal. He stayed chained against the wall, forcing himself to breathe, forcing himself not to break. But he could feel his body trembling, not from weakness, but from something worse being seen. The dragon had spoken his true name. A name no soldier, no alien, not even his commanders, should have known. And yet the beast had whispered it with perfect clarity, like it had been waiting for him. The soldier swallowed, his throat dry. "How do you know me?" he whispered. The dragon's eyes burned brighter. It lowered its head until its snout nearly touched him. "I do not know you," it said. "I remember you." The words slammed into him like a blow. "That's impossible," he said. "I've never—" The dragon's growl silenced him. Sound shook the dungeon, dust falling from the jagged ceiling. The human pressed his lips shut, his body stiff against the chains. "You think you are just a soldier?" the dragon hissed. "But I have seen the mark of your kind before. Humans who carried fire in their blood. Humans who were more than flesh." Soldier shook his head, desperate to deny it. "I'm not special. I'm nobody. Just a soldier who lost." The dragon's laughter was low, a rumble that seemed to come from the stones themselves. "If you were nobody, you would already be ash." The soldier froze. The dragon's breath washed over him, hot and suffocating. "When I burned your unit, when I shattered your machines, when I heard the cries of your men, do you know why I spared you?" The soldier didn't answer, couldn't answer. His stomach twisted, the dragon's teeth glistened, each one sharp enough to slice him in half without effort. "Because when I looked at you, I felt fear. Not yours. Mine." The soldier's eyes widened. "You're lying." The dragon slammed. One claw against the ground, sparks burst. The cage shook. "I do not lie, human." For a long silence, neither spoke. The soldier stared at the floor, his mind racing. The dragon's words cut too deep, too close. He had spent his whole life hiding the truth, burying it so far that even he almost believed it wasn't there. But now, here in this dungeon, the truth was clawing its way back. The dragon leaned close again, its voice dropping to a whisper.
"Tell me what you are."
The soldier met its gaze, forcing strength into his voice, even though his insides churned with fear. "I am a man, nothing more." The dragon's nostrils flared. "Lies." The human's chains rattled as the beast's hot breath pushed against him. He gritted his teeth, wouldn't give in. But then the dragon said something that made his blood run cold. "You are not the first." The prisoner's head snapped up. "What?" The dragon's eyes narrowed. "Centuries ago, I fought another like you, a human who bled fire. His body healed wounds no blade could keep.
Add.
His voice commanded machines not built by your kind. Was more than flesh, more than soldier." The soldier's pulse thundered in his ears. Couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The dragon's words echoed the fragments of memories he had locked away, dreams of fire. Visions of battles he never fought, scars on his body that had never truly healed. The dragon tilted its head, studying him like prey. "I killed that one, but you—" "I can feel it. You are not ordinary." Soldier's heart hammered. He shook his head. "I'm not what you think." The dragon's mouth curved into a cruel smile. "Then prove it." It moved. Chains rattled as the ground trembled beneath its weight. The dragon's tail slashed across the floor, striking the bars of the cage. They shattered, bone splinters scattering across the dungeon. The soldier's eyes widened. Ooh! His cell was broken, but so were his chances of escape. The dragon loomed above him, filling the chamber with firelight. "You will not hide from me, human. If you are nothing, then burn like nothing. If you are more, then I will see it. Now show me." The prisoner's chains fell away, released by the dragon's claws. His arms dropped to his sides, blood rushing back into his numb wrists. He staggered, trying to balance, his body aching with weakness. He stared up at the beast towering over him. The heat, the smoke, the fire in its eyes. Every instinct screamed run. But there was nowhere to go. The dragon's growl rumbled. Fight or die. The human clenched his fists. His body trembled. His heart screamed, and deep within his chest, something stirred. Something he had tried to bury. Something the dragon had seen all along. In the silence of the dungeon, the human hears another voice, soft, broken, echoing inside his head. The cell was different now. The chains that had bound him were gone. His wrists burned from the iron cuffs, his body still weak from the dragon's. Trial. He sat slumped against the jagged wall, his breath shallow, his skin slick with sweat. The beast had tested him. Though he had survived, he had learned nothing he could understand. Nothing except that the dragon wanted something from him. Something he could not yet admit even to himself. The creature had left him alive. For now, the dragon's heavy steps had echoed down a long corridor of stone, and then the dungeon was silent again. No guards, no voices. Only the faint dripping of water and the shifting of heat inside the walls. The human soldier closed his eyes, forcing his breath steady. He told himself he needed strength. He told himself he needed focus. But then he heard it. A whisper, faint, almost too faint to believe. Not sound, not truly. It was like thought pressed into his skull. You are not alone. His eyes snapped open. Scrambled to his feet, fists clenched, heart pounding, he scanned the chamber. Nothing but shadows in the faint red glow of veins in the stone. "Who's there?" he hissed. Silence. He shook his head. His mind had been battered by pain, exhaustion, smoke. He was imagining things. He sank back to the wall, pressing his palm against the cool stone. He closed his eyes, and the whisper returned. The dragon does not know everything, his breath caught. He pressed his fists against his temples, trying to block it out. But the voice pushed deeper, clearer. You are more than prisoner. You are the key. The soldier forced his voice into the emptiness. What are you? No answer. Only silence. He tried to calm himself, but the words clung to his mind like hooks. The key. The dragon had said something similar. That he was not just a soldier. That he was something else. But how could two voices, one of fire and one of shadow, speak the same truth? He clenched his fists tighter, blood dripping from his palms where his nails cut skin. Stop, he whispered. Stop it. And then he heard laughter. Not cruel laughter, not mocking, broken, soft, like something that had once been human and had forgotten how to sound alive. The soldier's chest heaved. His throat felt tight. He wanted to scream, but his fear strangled him. Where? Are you? He demanded. The whisper shifted. Beneath you, he froze. Then his eyes moved across the stone floor. Beneath the heat-veined slabs, something pulsed faintly. Ancient, slow. Ancient, he pressed his ear to the ground. For the first time, he felt it. Not just heat, not just stone. A heartbeat slow, massive, deep. His own pulse raced faster. He staggered back, staring at the floor as if it might split open beneath him. The voice whispered again. The dragon is not master. The dungeon is not prison. All of this is alive. The soldier's skin crawled. His mind screamed to deny it, but the truth pressed harder. He looked again at the veins in the wall, the way they glowed faintly, pulsing as though blood flowed through them. The way the stone seemed to breathe with heat. He was inside something living. The dungeon was not made. It was grown. The soldier's knees weakened. His body slumped back against the wall, and the voice spoke once more, clearer than ever. You are the key. Awaken us. He tried to shut it out. He tried to bury the fear beneath soldiers' training. But the words would not leave him. The dragon returned hours later, or maybe days. Time was broken here. The beast's massive body filled the corridor as it stalked back into view. Its eyes glowed brighter than before. You heard it, didn't you? The soldier's blood froze. What? The dragon snarled, smoke curling. From its jaws, the whispers do not lie. I can smell it on you. The prisoner's throat went dry. I don't know what you're talking about. The dragon's claws scraped against stone, the sound sharp and unbearable. Do you think me a fool? Human? This place speaks only to those it chooses, and it has chosen you. The soldier's heart hammered. What is this place? The dragon's. Eyes narrowed. For the first time, the beast looked not angry, but wary. It is older than my kind, older than yours. This is not a dungeon, human. This is a grave. Soldier's breath caught. The dragon leaned close, its heat suffocating. And you have woken the dead. The whispers call him the key, hinting that the dungeon itself, for something beneath it, is alive and tied to him. Chains fall away. The dragon growls. Prove yourself. Or burn. Flames roar, and the human has nowhere to run. The dungeon shook with the weight of the dragon's steps. The prisoner stood unchained for the first time since his capture. His wrists still burned with raw skin where the shackles had been. His legs trembled, not from weakness alone, but from the weight of what was about to happen. The dragon's eyes blazed brighter than the molten veins in the stone. Its voice rumbled through the chamber, thick with smoke and challenge. You deny what you are, human. You deny what even this place has already whispered to you. The prisoner clenched his fists. I'm nothing more than a man. The dragon's teeth gleamed in a cruel smile. Then prove it. Its tail lashed across the floor, carving a scar of sparks into the stone. The walls shifted, rumbling, as if obeying the beast's command. A section of the dungeon split open with a deafening crack, revealing a wide, circular pit beyond. The air that poured out of it was hotter, thicker, laced with smoke and the copper stench of old blood. The pit was an arena. The dragon motioned. With its massive head, step inside, human. Let the fire judge you. Soldier's breath shook. His body was battered, but he forced himself to walk forward. Each step echoed. He descended into the arena, the heat rising around him like a furnace. The walls closed behind him with a slam of stone. He was trapped. Alone, or so he thought. From the shadows at the far end, movement stirred. Claws scraped, hisses echoed. Shapes crawled into view, armored creatures, their skin glistening black like obsidian. Their eyes glowed pale yellow. There were 3 of them. No, 4. Each one the size of a wolf, their teeth dripping venom, their spines lined with jagged bone. The prisoner's pulse thundered. His mind screamed at him to run. But there was nowhere to go. High above, the dragon watched, its wings folded, its gaze unblinking. Fight, it growled, or be nothing. The first beast lunged. The prisoner barely dodged, rolling across the hot stone floor. He scrambled back to his feet, grabbing a broken shard of bone from the ground. It was sharp enough to cut, though, clumsy in his grip. The second beast came. Its jaw snapped inches from his leg. He swung the shard wildly, cutting across its face. The creature hissed, its blood black and smoking as it splattered the ground. The third beast struck from behind. Its claws ripped into his back. The soldier cried out, collapsing to one knee. Pain burned like fire, blood pouring down his spine. He forced himself up, gasping, stumbling, swinging the shard again and again. The creatures circled him, snapping, testing, waiting for him to break. He felt his strength failing. His vision blurred. His chest heaved with every ragged breath. He knew this was the end. And then something inside him surged. The wound in his back seared with fire, then cooled. His body jolted as the pain dulled, then vanished. He gasped, eyes wide, reaching for the wound only to find smooth skin. Slash was gone, completely healed. Above, the dragon's eyes narrowed. Smoke curled from its nostrils. The prisoner's body felt alive with energy, like lightning surged through his veins. His grip on the bone shard tightened. His breathing steadied. The beasts lunged again. This time he moved faster. Too fast. His body reacted before thought. Ducking, striking, twisting with precision that felt unnatural. He slashed one across the throat, black blood spraying. Another lunged, and he drove the shard through its eye. The last two circled. But he stood taller now, stronger. His mind screamed in confusion. His body moved with certainty. Within minutes, all four creatures lay broken at his feet. The shard dripped with their blood. His chest heaved, but his body showed no wound, no weakness. He looked up, his face pale, his eyes wide. The dragon loomed above, silent, studying him. The prisoner shouted, "What did you do to me?" The dragon's growl rumbled. "Like thunder? I did nothing. You are the one who healed. You are the one who fought like more than man." The soldier staggered back, his legs shaking. "No, no, it's not possible." The dragon's teeth glistened in the firelight. "It is not only possible, it is truth. You are not what you claim to be. You are more. And that is why you were spared." The prisoner's heart pounded. He looked at his own hands, at the blood dripping from them. They shook with fear, with denial, with power, and in the silence, faint and broken. The whisper returned in his head. "You are the key." His wounds heal unnaturally fast, proving the dragon's suspicion true. Dreams invade his mind. Cities burning, experiments in hidden labs, and a symbol carved into his skin he never noticed before. The dungeon no longer slept. The human soldier lay on the cold stone. His eyes refused to close. His body felt wrong, too strong, too alive, even after the wounds he should not have survived. He pressed his hand against his chest, searching for the scars that should have been there. Nothing. Smooth skin, unbroken. And when he finally drifted into uneasy rest, his mind betrayed him. Flashes, visions, fragments of a past he did not want to remember. He saw city-tall spires of glass and steel, human banners flying, but the sky burned. Ships descended, alien fire raining down. People screamed as buildings fell. Then the vision shifted. He was in a lab. Cold, white, sterile. Voices spoke around him, clinical, detached. Subject 17, progress stable. Cellular regeneration confirmed. Hands held him down. Needles pierced his veins. Machines hummed, filling his body with fire. He tried to scream, but the sound never left his throat. Another flash symbols etched into his skin, glowing faint blue. He didn't recognize the language, yet somehow he understood it. "Weapon," he gasped, jerking awake. Sweat drenched his body. His heart pounded like a drum. His hands clawed at his arms, at his chest, searching desperately. And there it was, on his forearm, faintly glowing in the dungeon's red light, a mark. A circle, intersected by jagged lines pulsing like a heartbeat. He had never seen it before, and yet he knew it had always been there, hidden beneath the skin. Buried until now, the soldier's throat tightened. He pressed his fist against the mark, shaking his head. No, this isn't real. But the memories didn't fade. They grew sharper, more vicious. He saw soldiers like himself strapped. 2 tables, some screaming, some silent, their bodies breaking under the same experiments. He saw doctors writing notes, cold and efficient. Humanity needs weapons. The war demands sacrifice. And then he saw the dragon, not this one, but another. Towering, furious, chained. Its blood was drawn into machines, its scales ripped apart. Human scientists harvested it. They called it Project Wormfire. The soldier staggered back against the wall, trembling. His stomach churned with sickness. His kind, his own people had done this. The dragon's voice rumbled in the darkness, pulling him back to the present. "You remember now," he froze. The beast loomed just beyond the bars, its eyes burning through the shadows. "I saw it," the soldier whispered. His voice shook. "The experiments, the labs." The mark, he lifted his arm, showing the faint. Glowed at the dragon, growled, low and heavy. "Your kind carved those symbols into their own flesh, binding themselves to the power they stole. Do you understand now why your wounds heal? Why your body remembers strength it should not have?" The soldier's voice cracked. Oh no, it can't be true. The dragon leaned closer, smoke curling. From its nostrils, it is truth, human. Fought one like you, centuries ago. He bore that mark. Fought with fire that was not his own. And when he fell, the ground itself burned for days. The soldier shook his head violently. I never asked for this. I never wanted this. The dragon's eyes narrowed, and yet it lives inside you. Deny it all you wish. The fire will not be caged forever. The soldier sank to his knees, clutching his head. Whispers in his skull grew louder. You are the key. Awaken us, he screamed, slamming his fists against. The stone floor sparks danced. The mark on his arm flared brighter, lighting the chamber. The dragon's voice thundered. Do you feel it? That is not weakness. That is power. Our people gave it to you. They made you into what they feared most. Tears burned in the soldier's eyes, though he tried to hide them. They used me, he said. I wasn't a soldier. I was. Experiment. The dragon's silence was heavier than any roar. It studied him, its gaze sharp, unyielding. Finally, it spoke. And now you understand why I kept you alive. You are not just man. You are weapon. And whether you choose it or not, the galaxy will remember your fire. The soldier lifted his head, his face pale, his eyes hollow. The whispers hissed again, chilling and insistent. You are not alone. We are waiting. The mark on his arm pulsed. In time with his heart, each beat louder, brighter. He pressed his hand over it, trembling. And in that moment, for the first time, he was more afraid of himself than of the dragon. The human realizes he was part of a classified experiment, carrying a genetic weapon hidden inside him. The dragon confirms it has fought one like him before, fears what he will become. The human wakes to find the dragon has entered the cell itself. Instead of striking, it lowers its massive head, staring into his eyes, and asks a question no human ever expects. Will you burn this galaxy? Or save it? The dungeon groaned as chains rattled above. The soldier sat hunched in the shadows, staring at the glowing mark on his arm. It pulsed faintly, each throb a reminder that his life was no longer his own. Sleep had abandoned him. The whispers, the visions, the memories of fire, they would not let him rest. And then the sound came, a heavy slam of stone, the grind of metal. The dungeon door opened, not to release him, but to invite something far more terrifying. The dragon entered. Its body filled the chamber, wings folded tight, scales scraping against the walls. Its breath was hot, thick with smoke, washing over him as it lowered its head. The soldier pressed his back to the wall, his instincts screaming to flee, though there was nowhere to go. The beast spoke, its voice deep as thunder. You are awake. Good. The soldier clenched his fists, forcing his voice steady. Why bring me here? If I'm your enemy, kill me. If I'm your experiment, then use me. But stop playing games. The dragon's eyes narrowed. Still the soldier. Still pretending your chains are stronger than the fire in your veins? The soldier snapped, his anger cutting through fear. I didn't ask for this. I never wanted any of it. The dragon's lips curled, revealing teeth like blades. Yet, its tone was quieter now, more deliberate. Neither did I. My kin were hunted, our blood harvested, our power stolen. Do you think we wanted this war, human? The word struck deep. The soldier hesitated, his chest tight. The images of the lab returned the chained dragon, the siphoned blood. He looked at the creature before him and saw not just a monster, but a survivor. The dragon lowered its massive head until its eyes were level with his. Listen to me, human. The mark on your flesh is not simply a scar. It is a tether, a lock. Left alone, it will consume you. But if mastered, it could burn. Armies too, Ash. You cannot fight it alone. The soldier's throat tightened. And what? You'll teach me? Why would you help me? The dragon's eyes glowed brighter, reflecting centuries of rage and memory. Because I have fought one like you before. He destroyed worlds. He burned my kin. I will not see it happen again. If I must guide you to stop you, then so be it. What? Soldier looked down at his hands. His skin still bore faint light from the mark. He could almost feel the heat rising inside, coiling like a serpent. The thought of wielding that kind of power sickened him. The thought of losing control, that was worse. The silence stretched between them, heavy and sharp. Finally, the soldier whispered, "If I let you help me, how do I know you won't? Kill me the moment I falter." The dragon's jaw tightened. Its voice came like a growl from the earth itself. "You don't. Trust is for the foolish, but survival is for those who know when to grasp it. And right now, human, you will not survive without me." The soldier met its burning gaze. For a moment, he saw the reflection of his own fear, his own fury, staring back. Enemies, yes, but perhaps bound by something neither could escape. He exhaled slowly, lowering his hands. "Then teach me." The dragon leaned closer still, so close. He could feel the heat rolling off its scales. "Do not mistake this for mercy. I will forge you like iron. If you break, I will leave nothing but ash." The soldier swallowed hard, his voice low but firm. "If that's the cost, then so be it." For the first time, the dragon's eyes flickered not with softness, but with something older, harder to name, perhaps recognition, perhaps fate. It turned away, smoke rising from its nostrils. "Then we begin at dawn." Soldier closed. His eyes, gripping his arm, where the mark still pulsed. The whispers in his head grew quieter, almost expectant, and for the first time since his capture, he no longer felt entirely alone. The dragon offers to train the human not to save him, but to control him. A fragile alliance is born, built not on trust, but on the shared knowledge that without each other, they are both doomed. The dungeon trembles. Sirens scream. Chains shatter. The dragon snarls as alien guards flood the corridors. The soldier feels the mark on his arm ignite like fire under his skin. Something inside him has awakened, and this time, he cannot control it. The dungeon was no longer silent. For days, the soldier had grown used to the echo of dripping water, the distant rumble of stone. But tonight, the air was different, charged, alive, thrumming with danger. At first it was a faint vibration beneath the floor. Then came the sound, sirens, harsh and metallic, howling through the cavern. The dragon lifted its head instantly, smoke curling from its nostrils. "They have found us," it growled. The soldier pushed himself upright, heart pounding. "Who? Found what?" The dragon's eyes narrowed, glowing in the crimson light of the alarm. Not who, what? Before the soldier could demand answers, the walls split with the sound of thunder. A hidden gate at the far end of the dungeon slammed open. Alien guards stormed through, armored in jagged plates, carrying weapons that pulsed with blue plasma. The dragon reared back, wings scraping the stone ceiling. "Stay behind me," it roared. But the soldier had no time to obey. One of the guards lunged forward, leveling its weapon. A blast of energy streaked across the room. Instinct took over. The soldier raised his hand too late to block yet. The mark on his arm flared white-hot. Blast struck him. It should have burned through flesh, bone, and life. Instead, the energy scattered across his skin like water over glass. The guard froze, stunned. So did the soldier. He stared at his arm, glowing with fire that wasn't fire, light that wasn't light. The whispers in his head screamed all at once, urgent and sharp. "Release it." Another guard fired. This time, the soldier didn't cower. He thrust his arm forward. Energy erupted from the mark, a burst of raw force that tore through the alien like paper. The body slammed against the wall, armor shattering. The soldier staggered back, breath ragged. His hands shook, his chest burned. He could hardly believe what he had done. The dragon roared approval, striking down 2 more guards with a sweep of its claws. "Yes," it bellowed, fire pouring from its jaws. "At last, you see." But the soldier's heart was racing. Not with pride, with fear. The power had not obeyed him. It had used him. Each surge pulled at his mind, whispering, promising. It was intoxicating, terrifying. More guards stormed in, their numbers endless. The dungeon shook with the clash of plasma, fire, and steel. The dragon tore through them like a living storm. But even it began to falter under the sheer flood. The soldier gritted his teeth, clenching his fists. "We'll never hold them off," the dragon snarled, knocking aside another alien. "We are not meant to hold. We're meant to break free." And then beneath the chaos, the soldier felt it, the whispers, louder than ever. But this time they weren't just in his mind. They came from the earth itself, from beneath the dungeon floor. A voice of metal and memory, ancient and waiting. "Come to me." The soldier's eyes widened. He stumbled to the far wall, guided not by choice, but by something deeper. His palm pressed against the stone. Instantly, the mark on his arm burned. Like molten fire, the wall cracked. The dragon's head whipped around. "What are you doing?" the soldier gasped, forcing the words out. "It's not me. It's calling." The cracks widened, glowing with blue light. The ground shook violently. From beneath the dungeon, something vast stirred, a machine buried in rock, older than the war itself. The guards froze, their weapons lowering in sudden fear. Even the dragon went still, eyes blazing with both awe and terror. The floor erupted, stone, shattered upward as a massive structure rose from below, metallic, curved, alive with veins of energy that pulsed like a heartbeat. A ship, a human ship, but not like any ship the soldier had ever seen. It rose higher. Tearing through the dungeon like a beast freed from its grave, the soldier fell to his knees, clutching his arm as the mark pulsed in perfect rhythm with the ship's glow. His breath hitched, his vision blurred. He could feel the ship as if it were an extension of his own body. The dragon stared, smoke billowing from its nostrils. "Impossible," it whispered. "That ship answers to you." The soldier staggered to his feet, eyes locked on the colossal machine that floated above them. His voice was barely a whisper. "No, it's not answering. It's remembering." Alarm screamed louder. The guards began to retreat, shouting in their guttural tongue. They knew what this meant. The dragon lowered its head beside the soldier, its voice a low rumble. "The galaxy will not forgive this awakening. They will come for you, for us." Soldier clenched his fists, his fear warring with the raw exhilaration coursing through him. Then let them come. The ship's engines roared to life, and the dungeon drowned in light. The human awakens, a buried living warship bound to his DNA. The dragon bows not as a jailer, but as a soldier, swearing to a commander. The galaxy has just changed forever. The human stands before the awakened warship, its colossal form humming with ancient power. The dragon bows low, but the alarms don't stop. Fleets are already on their way. The soldier's secret is no longer hidden. It is alive, burning, and the galaxy has seen it. The question is no longer whether he can escape, but whether he can survive what comes next. The dungeon lay in ruins, where once chains rattled and shadows ruled. Now a great void yawned. Ripped apart by the rising warship, a metallic beast hovered above the shattered stone, its hull gleaming with living light. Each pulse of energy felt alive, each vibration like a heartbeat syncing with the soldier's own. The human stood trembling at its base. His skin glowed faintly where the mark seared across his arm. The ship's lights pulsed in answer, as though the two were bound. The dragon lowered itself, massive head close to the ground in a gesture that shocked the prisoner. "I was your jailer," it rumbled, "but now I kneel." The soldier swallowed hard, his voice breaking. "Why? What am I to you?" The dragon's ember eyes burned bright. "You are not merely a man. You are the key left behind by the ancients. That ship, your ship was hidden until one worthy could awaken it. The galaxy believed such a being would never come." Before the soldier could respond, the air shook with a deeper sound. It's not stone, not engines. Something worse, the sky above. The cavern split. Through the ragged hole torn by the warships rising came a shadow, an alien fleet descending. Ships like blades of obsidian swarming in black waves, their weapons charged, glowing with pale fire. They had not come to negotiate. The soldier's pulse raced. They're here already. The dragon bared its fangs. They have feared this day for centuries, and they will not allow you to live." The soldier clenched his fists. Fear should have crushed him. But instead, something else rose in its place. Clarity. A weight of destiny he could not deny. He stepped forward, staring at the fleet. Then it's time they learned. The warship's hull opened, forming a bridge of light. Without hesitation, the soldier ascended, the mark on his arm blazing like fire. He entered the heart of the ship, a vast chamber alive with whispering energy. The controls rose before him, not switches or levers, but living threads of light that reached toward his hands. When his fingers touched them, the ship breathed. Engines roared like thunder, the cavern shaking with the force of it. The dragon leapt into the air beside the ship, wings unfurling wide. "Show them who you are," it bellowed. The alien fleet fired. A storm of plasma bolts rained down. The soldier didn't flinch. The warship's shields flared to life, absorbing the barrage as though it were nothing. He raised his arm, and the ship answered. A beam of pure energy tore through the air, slicing an enemy cruiser in half. The whispers in his head grew clearer. Not weapon, not ship. Extension, unity. He realized the truth. The ship was not a tool. It was a memory, an echo of humanity's lost strength. And now it was his to wield. The battle erupted. The sky lit with fire as the warship danced through the fleet, tearing vessels apart with impossible precision. The dragon fought alongside it, fire against steel, wings against engines. The soldier's heart thundered.
Ouch.
With every strike, the whispers grew louder. But beneath the roar of battle, one voice stood out. Calm, focused, human. "We built this for you, not for war, for survival." He froze. A vision surged in his mind. Ancient humans, long before his birth, pouring there. Souls into a final creation. A weapon, yes, but Mar a lifeboat for their legacy. And now, he was the last bearer of that gift. His breath caught. "This isn't about me," Dragon's voice echoed across the comms, fierce and proud. "Then make it about all of us." The soldier roared, unleashing the ship's full power. Energy lanced across the sky, tearing through the enemy fleet. Cruisers exploded in fire, frigates broke apart, and the remaining ships scattered in panic. But as the last enemy vessel fell, silence followed. Not relief, not victory, something worse. Above the wreckage, the stars shifted, and there, emerging from the void, was something vast. Not a fleet, not a dragon, something older, something watching the warship's lights dimmed in recognition. The dragon's eyes widened. "They know," it whispered. "The ancients know you have awakened." The soldier gripped the controls, heart racing. Who? Who are they? The dragon's gaze never left the stars. The true enemy. The ones who erased your people. And now they are coming. The soldier felt the weight of a galaxy press upon him. His secret was no longer hidden. His survival was no longer his own. The screen faded in fire and silence, leaving only a single thought echoing in the minds of all who had witnessed. One man, one dragon, one ship against the galaxy. The awakened warship is not just humanity's past, it is a beacon that has alerted the galaxy's true enemy. The human is no longer just a prisoner. He is the spark of a war that will decide the fate of every world.